Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Scheinsland Reisen Arena. This is match day 36 in the German Dritte Liga, and a top-of-the-table clash here between host Duisburg and visiting Energie Cottbus. For the visitors today, well, they know that a win would all but seal a place in the top two and see them promote up to the promised land of the Bundesliga 2, along with Osnabrück, whose fate was sealed yesterday after Essen's 6-1 loss at Stuttgart. Meanwhile, for Duisburg, well, a win here would put them level on points with Cottbus, second place in the table, both on 66 points, and a win by 3 goals or more would take them up into second place on goal difference. So Dietmar Hirsch has made 2 changes to the side that lost 3-1 at Aachen last week. Mert Gürkan comes in on the left-hand side of midfield for Can Koshkin. A change up top as well, with Thilo Topken coming in for just his 5th start of the campaign. Due to Lex Tiger Lobinger being suspended after picking up his 5th yellow card of the season last week. Also good news on the bench for the Zebras. Club captain Alexander Hahn returns to the bench, having missed the last 6 matches with a calf injury. Well, a big game for both sides, this one. Say the riches in store potentially for either side should they promote this season. Huge compared to another year in the Dritte Liga. Let's have a look at the Energie Cottbus side then. Klaus-Dieter Wollitsch also making 2 changes from his side that won 2-0 at Victoria Cologne last week. In the centre of defence, Mladen Cvjetinovic comes in for the suspended King Manu, who picked up his 5th yellow card of the season last week in Cologne. There's also a change in midfield. Dominic Pelavan missed the last 2 games with an adductor injury. He's back in to anchor that midfield for Cottbus, with Moritz Hannemann dropping to the bench. Also a returnee from injury on that bench as well, Justin Butler picked up a hamstring injury at Osnabrück 3 weeks ago. Obviously just a tweak rather than a real ping, and he is now back. And available selection from the bench then for the Crayfishes. So high fives and fist pumps then from both sets of players. And an absolutely packed house here at the MSV Arena. There's our referee for today from Cologne, Robert Kampke, with Marcel Gastaya and Benedikt Kempkes, the referee assistants, and our 4th official for the afternoon, Justin Hassman. Good to see the coaches also paying their respects to each other there. And we're pretty much good to go here. There's that's the Duisburg mascot. So huge game this. A win for Cottbus would be massive, but you have to remember Duisburg, the only team unbeaten at home so far this season, having won their last 4 here on home turf as well. Cottbus, meanwhile, on their travels, well, they've lost 2 of their last 4 of those. Were probably 2 of the hardest games you could possibly have in the Dritte Liga at the moment, away to Aachen and away to Osnabrück. As you would expect, as always, a good travelling contingent as well from all the way over on the eastern border of the country, move all the way over here to, well, not far from the Dutch border, quite frankly, so pretty much fully the width of the country. Those away fans have travelled. Be very interesting to see how Duisburg cope without Lex Tiger Lobinger. Very much the leader of the line for them. Dietmar Hirsch Ready on the stopwatch as we get underway here then at the Schaunsland Reisen Arena. It's Duisburg against Cottbus, and it's Cottbus immediately on the attack. Well, the ball in from the left from Axel Borgman and Merve Biancardi there with the attempt on the scissor kick. What a start that would have been. Giggling on the Cottbus bench. Now Sigurci to Buziaris. Buziaris flips one in, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Well, great start this from the away side. Fantastic opportunity for Klaus-Dieter Wollitsch's side. It's not going to be easy though, finding a win here. Engelhardt just losing the ball. Sigurci going down ever so easily there. Bullic not a happy man at all. Now Straudi under pressure. Well, shoulder to shoulder. Not quite sure why Sigurci felt the need to hold his head there. The referee calling Bullic and Sigurci over for a quick chat. No idea why he feels the need to cover his mouth there. Long throw down the line. Engelhardt winning a throw. Second in the scoring charts this season in the Dritte is Eric Engelhardt on 21. Lars Gindorf bagged his 23rd goal of the season and his 9th from the penalty spot yesterday. In Aachen's 1-1 draw against Hansa Rostock, which certainly helped both of these sides. Mitchell Brink under pressure from Viet. Oh, the playing surface looking fantastic here. Hopefully we get the game of football to match it. Meanwhile, little ball through the back there from Niklas Jessen. Moving from the left side to the right side of that Duisburg midfield this afternoon. Nice ball to Borgman on this near side. Borgman brings the ball up over halfway, spreads it out to Biancardi. Pelavan pops the ball off to Borgman. Svjetinovic under pressure. Big cheer from the home fans as the press sees the ball go all the way back to Marius Funk. And again, Mitchell Brink, no real options in midfield. The ball back to the goalkeeper once more. Well, Cottbus trying to play the ball short out of the back, but the midfield all over them. But now things opening up perhaps just a little bit. The pass from Palavan just behind Borgman. Now the Cottbus captain brings the ball over halfway. No one really closing down the Cottbus captain. Now Biancardi floats the ball into the area. Allows to the back post just as Engelhardt made his run into the near post. Cottbus seen plenty of the ball in the opening 5 minutes here. Duisburg pressing as high as they dare so far. You understand Cottbus, they like to get onto the front foot. They're not really a counter-attacking team. Well, that's nicely played from Borgman. Mitchell Brink making the run into midfield, finding the gaps. Now Biancardi on the left. Engelhardt makes his run into the area. The cross, though, just in behind the number 18. Pelevan picks up the loose ball. Now Sigurci. Sigurci cuts in onto his left foot, but too much height on the shot. Just lofting that into the stand behind the goal. "17 goals this season for Tolkai Sigurci. 9 of them coming from the penalty spot, from 10 spot kick attempts. Eric Engelhardt, meanwhile, 21 goals this campaign, none of them coming from the penalty spot. Oh, and a great opportunity here. 5 up in the attack, but the ball cut out by Sjetinovic. And now the long ball over the top, looking for the run of Buziaris. Engelhardt up in support as well. And here's Biancardi popping up on the left-hand side. Biancardi cuts onto his right foot, pulls the trigger, big deflection on the shot. Kept in the penalty area there by Maximilian Brauner. Duisburg just need to settle down a little bit here. Cottbus looking slick in the early stages. And winning the ball high up there. Good pressing from Engelhardt. Mitchell Brink, though, forced backwards, faced with a blanket of zebra jerseys in front of him. Long ball from Funk. That was well played from Ben Schlicker, just easing Engelhardt away from his run. Now Jessen finding a little bit of space on this near side. Can't find the pass, though, for Florian Kruger. Plenty of noise from both sets of fans so far. As you can imagine, Cottbus selling out their full allocation. And the 60-year-old coach still got some skills as well. Well, what a difference a cut 2 seasons make. 2 years ago, Duisburg, by this stage of the season, already relegated down to the 4th tier. Bounced straight back up last season. And still in with a chance of making it back-to-back promotions as well. The referee inadvertently getting a touch on that crossfield pass from Viet. Not much he could do about that. Well, the Duisburg fans are here to party. Engelhardt just being asked to make sure he stays away. That's how the table looks as things stand. Cottbus with a 3-point advantage over Duisburg and Essen. If this game were to end in a draw, and wow, how was that ball kept in play? Look, Gurkamp somehow wrapping his foot round that ball. Marius Funk just about dealing with it. Just signs of Duisburg starting to settle in the 10th minute here on home turf. Cottbus making a bright start. No real chances at either end so far. Biancardi trying to get inside Bitter. Buziaris to Straudi. Now Sigurci popping up on that right-hand side. Sigurci running at Koshkin. Bulic across with the intercept and trying to gee up the home fans there as well. Well, Sigurci giving the ball away there, but then put straight out of play with a slightly loose pass over on that far side by Duisburg. So another opportunity here for Cottbus. Biggest crowd this season so far was for the home game against Alemannia Aachen back at the end of November. Just over 28,000 packed in here for that one. I was wondering they might even actually beat that. Fantastic crowds though for the third tier, up towards the 30,000 mark. That long ball is popped over the top, looking for the run of Budziaris. Cleared by Bitter. Now Budziaris again. Run into midfield from Straudi. Sigurci struggling to find space so far, being well patrolled, but that's a nice little pass in for Engelhardt. Engelhardt drops a little bit deeper with the ball. Now Straudi whips the ball into the near post, but Biancardi not going to get to that one first. And Kopp was just keeping the pressure on Duisburg here. Ball goes all the way back to Funk, now a Wortry Grant. Mitchell Brink was looking for the run from Engelhardt. Had to check his movement there. Well, there's a good pace to the game so far. And both teams are largely cancelling each other out, but Cottbus, if anything, looking the more dangerous of the two. Long ball over the top. Too long for Thilo Topken. Funk taking no chances at the back. Engelhardt beaten in the air. A header from Mitchellbrink looking for Budziaris. Now to Biancardi on this near side. Budziaris continues his run into the left-hand channel. Looks up, stands the ball up. Was looking for Sigurci at the back post perhaps. Browner though off his line to make the intercept. And now Duisburg on the attack. Jessen trying to stretch the game down the Duisburg right flank. Ball back inside to Viet. Kurther. Back to Viet again. And the cross charged down by Borgman. In the first corner of the match for the Zebras. I say, somewhat surprised to see some empty seats in that stand behind that goal. Everywhere else absolutely packed out. Gurkhan takes the corner short. Viet with the cross in, the shot on the turn, straight at the goalkeeper. Well, Topken, the perfect man for that ball to fall to. Nicely worked, short corner routine here. Topken just dropping off of his marker, and Wortry Grant not following. And Engelhardt just tangling with Schlicker over on that far side. Here's another look at that chance. Good movement from Topken just to create the space for the shot. So just dropping off his marker, and Waltby Grant perhaps should have been a little bit sharper. Remember, top scorer, Lex Tiger Lobinger, not available today. Fleckstein and Schlicker keeping the ball to themselves at the back. Now Bullets dropping deep. Inside to Turpin, who also dropped in. Now to Jessen. Jessen trying to put the ball back in. Had two men to aim at, making the run into the box. Couldn't get the ball past the first man. Oh, Bitter to take the throw. Good length on that, flicked on at the near post as well by Turpin. No one could quite make the run in behind to connect with that flick. Cottbus again playing it short out of the back. Engelhardt with a slightly loose ball, and Mitchellbrink a little bit lucky that Turpin couldn't quite control it with his first touch. Now Pelivan makes a run forward from midfield. Not used to seeing that. Usually the man sitting in front of the back four. Maybe he got a little bit more licence with Mitchellbrink sitting a little bit deeper. And a sort of a double pivot here for Cottbus. Mitchellbrink more of the playmaking deep-lying player. He's under pressure there as well. Bullich suddenly just adding a bit of pace into that Duisburg midfield. And Sjetinovic going down under pressure from Turpin. Well, you don't like to see the play acting. Foot absolutely nowhere near him. Again, the cheerleading from that knot of Cottbus fans at the top right of your screen, making a huge amount of noise. Mitchellbrink again, trying to keep the ball moving here. A Waltby Grant now. And that's a poor ball for Biancardi. Straight out of play. High intensity this in the opening 19 minutes. As you'd expect, with so much on the line, a little bit nervy perhaps at times as well. Cottbus under pressure with the ball. Engelhardt trying to spin off the back of Fleckstein. The ball goes all the way back to Brauner. Remember, there's 2 games left this season after this one. Duisburg face a trip to already relegated Gersgeberger Aue next week. Then finish their season here. It's home to Victoria Cologne. Cottbus, meanwhile, will be at home to Wehen Wiesbaden, who have really nothing to play for in mid-table next week, and then on their travels on the last day against another side mid-table, Jan Regensburg, who have obviously hit a bit of form the last couple of weeks. They thrashed Hansa Rostock last week, 5-2 on their travels as well. Then followed that up with a tight win at home to Hoffenheim yesterday afternoon. Saarbrücken, of course, also sealing their survival with a win at home to Waldorf Mannheim in one of the early kickoffs yesterday. Sigurci just trying to change up the pace a bit. Straudi looking for Biancardi over on that far side. And Viet forced just to put the ball out of play over there. By the way, getting very interesting as well with regards to who will be coming down this season. With Preußen Münster slightly adrift at the bottom of the table, with just a couple of games, or 3 games left to play for them. They're actually away to Hanover as we speak. Get those that latest raft of games in the Bundesliga 2 kicking off at the same time as this one. Greuther Fürth at the moment winning at home to Nuremberg, which should have a huge effect on things at the bottom of the table. Fürth coming into this match day 17th. As things stand though, Fortuna Düsseldorf dropping into the bottom 2. Their form catastrophic over the last couple of months. Kruger, Jessen, good ball into the box, but Turpken not quite able to react with the ball given straight back again. Definitely a little bit nervy at the back at the moment for Cottbus. Straudi, good ball out to Sigurci over on that far side. Bitter sweeping across on the intercept. Sigurci though picks up the loose ball. Now Straudi back to Sigurci again. Engelhardt. Biancardi popping up on the left. Good ball into the near post for Sigurci. Well defended by Duisburg. Straudi makes a run into the right channel. Mitchell-Brink just keeps the ball moving in the Cottbus midfield. Ziares to Straudi. Straudi just trying to put a bit of pace on this. Gets the ball into Sigurci on the head. El Biancardi whips that ball back into Mitchell-Brink. Mitchell-Brink shifts it onto his right foot. Doesn't quite catch the shot though, and that's easy enough for Maximilian Brauner. Mitchell-Brink yet to find the back of the net this season. 6 assists though for the 21-year-old Lithuanian. And a chance at the other end there for Thilo Turpken. Marius Funk having a bit of a shout at the defence in front of him. I'll have a look at it here. Duisburg thought that took a deflection off of Dominic Pelevan, who was chasing back on the try and close down Turpken. Fleckstein with the header, helped on, and then controlled by Schlicker. That's a poor pass though from the Duisburg number 40. Pelevan brings it over halfway. Continues his run after a 1-2 with Sigurci. Then Sigurci gets the run of the ball there over on the far side, goes down under pressure, told to get on with it by the referee. And Straudi in on Dominic Koerther, and this time there is a foul. I think Straudi just voicing his discontent. Well, there's just no foul there, is there? Sigurci going to ground under the merest of touches. And that would be why Duisburg wanted the corner. There's Dietmar Hirsch's reaction to that, clearly coming off the top of Pelevan's boot on its way to the behind the goal. 25 minutes in, 0-0. Again, neither goalkeeper really stretched so far. A couple of half chances at either end, but Not much more than that. Clash there between Turpin and Pelivan. Sigurci. It's being pushed back here by Bulic. What's the referee seen? Honestly, not sure what he's blown up for there. Bulic simply appeared to be just pressuring Sigurci from behind. Yeah, Sigurci releasing the ball, looking for Engelhardt. Well, there was a bit of a clash with Schlicker, and as he caught Browner. The referee calling the stretcher over, Borgman over the Cottbus captain. Well, is there any contact here? No, not really. Shameful play acting from Maximilian Browner. He's put an extra, 6-7 rolls in there as well. Eric Engelhardt will be worried. He's one booking away from a suspension. No surprise to see the thumbs up from the medical staff. The lightest of contacts, surely, from Eric Engelhardt. Tolkai Sigurci having a word with the referee as well. He's been trying to buy a couple of free kicks as well in the opening part of this match. By the way, Browner also, the goalkeeper, only one booking away from suspension. 3 of those 4 coming in at second half stoppage time. And the referee trying to lay down the law here. Of course, there's so much at stake in this game. The players, in some cases, a little bit guilty, taking their eye off the ball here. Bitter plays that one in for Kruger. Sjetinovic in a clash there as well. Temper's just threatening to bubble over here. Well, it's a little bump in the back of the into the back, isn't it? From Sjetinovic. Christian Viet just eased off the pitch. A little bit naughty from the Bosnian centre-back. No quarter being asked for or given physically from both sides at the moment. Very much a case of 2 good sides cancelling each other out in the opening half hour here at the MSV Arena. Patience being shown by the home fans. Both sets of players also doing their best to test the referee so far. Now Borgman up from left back. And Viet doing well to win the throw over on this near side. Just the merest touch off the underside of the boot of the Cottbus captain. Bitter with the throw down the line for Tupkin. And a nice one too with Kotha. Now things perhaps opening up just a little bit. Kruger makes a run into the left-hand channel. The ball well won though by Sjetinovic. Gets it through to Engelhardt. A little bit of space here for Engelhardt to run, but can't get past the first man. Good tackle from Pelevan. All of a sudden there's a 4-on-3 here available for Cottbus if they move the ball at speed. That's a poor pass though from Sigurci behind Baziaris. Needed more pace on it. Just rolled it in, gave the defenders a chance to react. Yeah, yes, and Kruger. And Kruger winning the corner. Another chance for the home side from the next set piece then. Dominic Kotha over to take the corner, be the outswinger. Zonal marking from the Cottbus defenders. Popped into the near post, not actually quite, somehow bouncing over the line. The merest of touches. And was it Rasim Bulic? Well, the home fans won't care how the ball crossed the line. It was scruffy to say the least. Well, at this stage of the season, it doesn't matter how you score. Well, that goal could be golden. Good delivery in from Kotha. Bulic getting the merest of touches in the 6-yard box. It somehow evaded both the keeper and Merve Biancardi on the line. Well, last week Biancardi with a spectacular overhead clearance off the line. Away to Cologne. This time completely missing his kick. Well, Dietmar Hirsch will be delighted. It's been a tight opening 33 minutes here at the MSV Arena. Perhaps quite apt that the goal should come in such a scruffy fashion in a game of so few chances so far. But Bulic's second goal of the season. His only previous strike coming on match day 6 against bottom side Schweinfurt. Oh, penny for Klaus-Dieter Wollitsch's thoughts on the bench there for Cottbus. Side somewhat misfiring at the moment. Started off well enough the first 10-15 minutes or so. Since then, though, the threat has rather diminished. Baziaris having to drop deep. Actually, the goal given to Thilo Topken. Well, it looked like Rasim Bulic definitely got a touch there right in front of the goalkeeper. Certainly played a big role in the goal. And it's Topken who won the header. Cottbus, so moving the ball around at the back, but not really doing much in the final third. Biancardi just straying offside. Well, if the goal is given to Tuck, that's his 6th of the season. Last scored 3 weeks ago. And a really good performance, a 4-1 win away to Waldorf Mannheim. Now Jessen charges through a couple of challenges. Ball Bitter now under pressure from Pelavan. Does get the cross in, and Waltby Grant with the touch. And rather barged there by Kurther. Quite how you can argue that's not a foul, I have no idea. Barged into him from behind. One of those situations, it's so difficult to resist going in with the challenge. You know the opponent's going nowhere, facing his own goal. Well, the away fans haven't had a huge amount to cheer about so far. Engelhardt just trying to ease Bitter off the ball. 8.5 minutes to go in this first half. Duisburg with the opener. So just looking. A goal definitely being given to Thilo Topken. Racine Bulic adjudged to have missed the ball completely, but he certainly did enough to put off the goalkeeper. And Biancardi as well, who was on the line. Now Mitchellbrink bursts onto the ball, brings it over halfway. He's got Segurci outside him. He's had a poor first half, the Cottbus number 10. Well, Biancardi with a poor touch, giving the ball to Kruger. Topken, now to Kotha. Brilliant chasing back there from Simon Straudi. Saving a really good opportunity there. Kotha. Well, throwing himself to ground there. So little contact. He was onside as well, Straudi. Stretching every sinew to get back. Hard to know what to say, really, sometimes. Waltby Grant just keeping the ball at the back for the moment. You see the Cottbus substitutes warming up there behind the goal. And Straudi looking for Engelhardt, too much on it. Ball goes all the way through to Browner. Now Bulic has kept things ticking over nicely in that Duisburg midfield. Now Viet, Bitter can bring this over halfway, can Joshua Bitter. Unfortunate enough to score an own goal last week in that loss to Aachen. It was Joshua Bitter, the third goal belonging to him in that 3-1 loss. Duisburg, they won 3 in a row before that loss against Aachen. 1-5, lost 3 of their last 8. A little bit inconsistent. Now Bitter can't beat Borgman to the ball. Bulic. Kothar over on that far side. Now the closing down from both sides has been pretty tight. Not a lot of room for either team to really create. Just wonder with the intensity of the game if things might open up a bit in the second half as the game stretches. Borgman coming into midfield. Axel Borgman, the Cottbus captain, he's playing at left back today. Can't help thinking he's well, he is more effective further up the pitch, but he's probably also the best left back as well. Nice layoff from Engelhardt. Ball chipped over the top. A bit floatier, but Biancardi does eventually take control of that. Here's Mitchellbrink now. Straudi over on that far side. Lays the ball in for the run of Sigurci, but beaten to it by Bulic. Cottbus just squeezing Duisburg here a little bit. 3 minutes before the break. Nice ball off the outside of the boot from Milwaukee Grant. And eventually gets the ball back again. Cottbus finding it ever so difficult to find any space in the final third at the moment. Sigurci's been closed down. Engelhardt being manhandled by the likes of Fleckstein and Schlicker. Here's Borgman trying to make an extra man in midfield, coming up from left back. And Cottbus captain just trying to make a little something happen here as we approach half-time. And Cottbus need a little something, I think. Buziaris just with a slightly flailing foot. Well, I say there was a flailing foot. Somehow he managed to completely miss the opponent. Good point, though, in this first half. There has been quite a bit of play acting from both sets of players. Somehow, though, no bookings yet. Long ball up from Brauner. Engelhardt. Oh, he's barely had a touch. The Cottbus number 18. Now Kothar plays the ball in for Viet. Nice little 1-2. Kothar then kind of turns into trouble again, or rather into traffic. Now the ball whipped in from the left. Kruger turning on the edge of the area. Duisburg retaining possession. Jessen in a little bit of space. Now plays the ball into the edge of the area. Well, that's a slip from Turpken. And the foul, I think, is going to be given against Joshua Bitter here. Well, there's the board being readied. And there's Lex Tiger. Lobinger, Duisburg striker, arrived in January. Did Lobinger from Victoria Cologne. Two minutes being added on by the officials. Can Cottbus produce something in the final moments here? Borgman, again, no space. The closing down from Duisburg has been, blanketing to say the least. That's a poor ball, though, from Sjetinovic. Seized on by Kurtha on that far side. Opportunity knocks here for Duisburg in the final moments of the first half. Kurtha weaved his way into the area. The cross comes in towards Thilo Turpken. Couldn't quite find room for the shot on the turn. And the ball eventually cleared by Mitchellbrink. Mitchellbrink again. They moved the ball around beautifully in the base of the midfield last week against Victoria Cologne, did the Cottbus number 8. But today, just doesn't seem to have the options to pass to at the moment. It's all very sideways and backwards from the Cottbus playmaker. Now Borgman again, making a forward run, showing good strength there against Bitter. And here is Mitchellbrink. Tries to stand the ball up, blocked at the near post. Kruger. Bumped by Borgman. Hirsch can't believe it's not a foul. I think there was very little to it, to be perfectly honest. Tempers running high on the sidelines in the first half. It's been an intense opening 45 minutes here at the MSV Arena. Chances very much at a premium. And it's the home side, the Zebras of Duisburg, who will go in at half-time with the 1-goal lead. Thilo Turpken converting. Dominik Kurtha, corner. Racine Bulic trying to get a touch almost on the line, rather putting off the goalkeeper. A scruffy goal. Duisburg won't care how or why, as Joshua Bitter appears to have gone down just on the stroke of half-time here. That'll be a note of concern. But other than that, it's Duisburg who lead Energie Cottbus by 1-0 here at half-time. Well, welcome back then to the Schaunsland Reisen Arena. Duisburg leading by a goal to nil at half-time here, and it looks like changes from both coaches at the break as well. Merve Biancardi not having the best of first halves. Moritz Hannemann coming on in his place, very much a like-for-like substitution, a change also for the home side. We did see, just as we were leaving at half-time, that Joshua Bitter had gone down injured in the last action of that first half. He's not able to come out for the second period, so club captain Alexander Hahn comes off the bench, having missed the last 6 games with a calf injury. Well, for Cottbus, I don't think they could really play much worse in the second half. Offered very little in the first period. Very stop-start, getting no change at all out of the Duisburg defence. And remember, if the result stays as is, Osnabrück will be champions without even kicking a ball later this afternoon away at Wehen Wiesbaden. They'll certainly put a spring in the away fans' step if that were to be the case. Already promoted. Osnabrück. Now Kurther with the ball on this near side, tries to find the run. Oh, the ball somehow turned across the 6-yard box and there was no one there for Duisburg. Hesitant again at the back from Cottbus. Mladenovic and Marius Funk somehow spinning that ball across their own goal. And cleared on the edge of the 6-yard box. And there go the fireworks from the away end. Hopefully that's not going to cloud across the pitch. Kurther looking for the run of Turpken. Funk, though, quickly off his line. Well, it's certainly a bit cloudy over in that in the away corner. Just wonder if it's a matter of time before that cloud hits the deck. They're a confirmation of the as it stands table. Duisburg behind Cottbus on goal difference at the moment. 2 more goals and they'd be ahead on goal difference. Ball put into the area by Hannemann. Well cleared by Rasim Bulic. Buziaris tries to play a 1-2 with Pelivan. And I wonder if we're going to get a short stoppage here. And indeed we are. Or are we not? No. That cloud of smoke still just above the playing surface. We saw a rather... Well, Joshua Bitter rather gingerly taking his spot on the bench. And Straudy tries to get the cross in, takes the deflection straight into the hands of Browner. Just no production from wide areas in the first 48 minutes of this game from Cottbus. Now long ball over the top, goes all the way through to Marius Funk. And that cloud of smoke is dropping a little closer to the playing surface. Hopefully it's dispersed enough not to cause any issues. Sikirchi has been given no time or space whatsoever so far in this match. Cottbus number 10. press from Duisburg has been impressive. Well, Borgman picks up a yellow card. He was a little bit late in there, in the centre circle. And that's a 5th yellow card of the season for Axel Borgman, so the Cottbus captain will be missing next week at home to Wehen Wiesbaden. By the way, both Tolkai Sigurci and Eric Engelhardt also one booking away from a suspension for the away side. For Cottbus, well, Racine Bulic is on the floor there. He's on 4 yellows, as is Tobias Fleckstein and the goalkeeper Maximilian Brauner. Borgman just couldn't help sliding in on that one. Interesting, we've not seen a replay of it so far. Normally get a replay of a yellow card incident like that. And the game back underway. Kurther to Gurkan. Slight deflection on the pass. Duisburg throw. A little bit scruffy on this near side from the Zebras. Sigurci pings that ball out to a Waltby Grant. Borgman. Out to Hanneman. Back inside to Mitchellbrink. Slight miscontrol and he's given the ball away to Thilo Topken as Mitchellbrink. And Topken treading on the ball, somehow affecting a pass with it. And now space over on that right-hand side for Kruger. Kruger puts the ball in, Vietkes couldn't find the touch. The ball slightly behind the number 10, went for the flick. Missed it completely. Sigurci again going down far too easily. Merest of touches. Now Gurkan drives into the area. No penalty, says the referee. Well, you can't be surprised by that. Duisburg still the only time this team this season yet to be awarded a penalty is at Tolkai Sigurci now. Falling apart for Cottbus. Gets a yellow card, I am assuming, for dissent. The referee getting that call right for my money. The Tolkai Sigurci will join his captain Axel Borgman on the sidelines next week at home to Wiesbaden, picking up his 5th yellow card of the season as well. And the two of them doing so within, what, a couple of minutes of each other. Well, Sigurci has got a frustrated figure in this match. He's not been getting the fouls he wants from the referee. Engelhardt doing well. Finds Buziaris, lays the ball off. First time ball now out onto that left-hand side for Hanneman. And Buziaris to Mitchellbrink. Now Straudi pops up in some space on this near side. Now the ball back with the centre-backs again. Now Pelevan. Buziaris dropping deep. A Waltby Grant. Everyone behind the ball for Duisburg. Mitchellbrink tries to find a little bit of space. Bulic, though, snapping in with the tackle. Sigurci. Just stopping in mid-play there, Gurkan. Just bumping in from behind. Pelavan. Hanneman had Borgman outside of him, decided against it, and was back with a Walkby Grant again for Cottbus. Sjetinovich, all the way back to Marius Funk. Now a Walkby Grant brings it over halfway. And, well, the substitute, Alexander Hart, left his decision to play that one a little bit late, did the captain. And that's going to be a Cottbus corner out of almost nothing. And he was trying to play it off of Eric Engelhardt. Looked like there might have been the merest of touches. Tough to pick that up in real time, though. Now Sigurci with the corner. 6 red shirts to Waymack. Goes to the back post. Headed back across goal by Hanneman, but straight out of play. Hanneman adding a bit of extra physicality over on that left flank after replacing Merve Biancardi at half-time. That was Gurkan. Going down too easily. I think the referee is fed up with the back chat from Sigurci. Only really the captain is supposed to speak to the referee. Duisburg showing so far in this game just why they're the only unbeaten team at home this season. And a great opportunity here. Dominic Kotha through on goal, and that's 2-0. Well, the first goal for Tilo Topkin was a scruffy one. This, though, much better from Duisburg. Simply cut through the Cottbus defence there. Third goal since his winter arrival for Dominic Kotha. Scored a brace of Waldorf Mannheim a few weeks ago. And the Dresden loanee on the score sheet again. Topkin laying the ball off. Perfectly timed pass from Kruger. And a great finish too. Straight through the goalkeeper. No offside. Sjetinovich was trying to claim it there, but it was just beautifully timed. Duisburg slicing through the Cottbus defence. That now means these two teams level on points, level on goal difference as well. Cottbus nearly ahead on goals scored. Another goal for Duisburg. They will move up into second place in the table going into the last 2 games of the season. How did Cottbus react to that? Gurkan snapping into the tackle this time. Well, Sjetinovich doing well under pressure from Topkin, and Kruger lays it off to a Walkby Grant. Sigurci misplays the pass, not having his best game of the season by any stretch of the imagination. It's Torkai Sigurci. The Cottbus do have a problem that Sigurci is, I wouldn't say he's exactly a luxury player, but everything seems to go through, and when he's not on it, Sigurci, Cottbus simply don't seem to function. Klaus-Dieter Wollitz reacting to that second goal. The substitute's about to be brought on. Here we go, looks like Can Mustafa and Tolga Sigurci coming on. Buziaris coming off, and Pelivan as well. And Mitchell Brink and the elder Sigurci will now be anchoring that midfield. Both playmakers. And just really nobody has really stepped up so far for Cottbus. And Duisburg again, finding space on that right-hand side. Jessen keeping the ball moving. Viet crowded out. The two Sigurci brothers teaming up there. And you can see the elder brother, the moment he comes on, he's a real organiser in there in the engine room. And Cottbus needing exactly that at the moment. The ball well won. Kruger gets past Mitchell Brink. Was he just being dragged back by the Cottbus number? I think it was a little foul a little bit earlier in the move. The referee trying to let play flow. Just oh, was there a tug back there? I think that's what the referee deciding. Kurtha standing over the free kick. Got Viet with him, who's just making a run down the left. Instead, the ball chipped to the back post, headed half away by Wortby Grant. Hanneman and Engelhardt combining in the penalty area. Sigurci tries to play that one down the lane, cried it out. And again, Duisburg so quick into the ball. And Sigurci and Bulic going head to head there, and Bulic giving a little bit of extra encouragement for the home fans who I don't think they really need extra encouragement. Bulic definitely energised here. And the referee wanting a word. Oh, the adrenaline really flowing in Racing Bulic this afternoon. Throw into the near post, half flicked on. And the goal kick given. The second ball knocked onto the pitch by the home fans. Now Sjetinovic. Sigurci plays a risky ball out there. Wortby Grant back to Sigurci again. He's half stunned, half shanked that one. Straight into the Duisburg player, gets the ball back again. There's the Cottbus number 14. Now he tries to bring the ball forward by foot. He's come forward, what, 60, 70 metres here, Sigurci, and without a challenge coming in, Engelhardt plays the ball out to Mustafa. Mustafa gets to the byline. And that's been bundled out for a corner by Jessen. Mustafa just trying to add a little bit of extra energy here. Sigurdsson comes across to take the corner, will be an outswinger on his left foot. Not the tallest of teams, Cottbus. That's a good ball into the near post, headed away. Now Mitchell-Brink tries to draw in some of the defenders. The ball pinged back out to Sigurdsson on that left-hand side. Sigurdsson back into Mitchell-Brink. Mitchell-Brink turns, gets away from his man, tries to find a little moment of space. Mladenovic losing the ball for no fouls as the referee on the edge of the area. The ball still not cleared by Duisburg. Mitchell-Brink gets in there as well. Sjetinovic plays it out to Straudy on this near side. Ball pinged back in, headed away by Bulic. And the ball's still alive here. The referee continuing to wave play on. Sigurdsson into his younger brother. Interception. And now Kotha. Is there a chance on the counter-attack here for Duisburg? No, there isn't. There's a foul though. And a chance to relieve the pressure for the home side. Well, got to say, I don't think he got the ball. And if he did, he went straight through the player there, Kruger. Very lucky not to give away a free kick. Well, it ended up a little bit schoolboy. And I think Klaus-Dieter Wollitz not happy with the decision there. Always tries to be as respectful as possible. The game continuing without the referee at the moment. That'll have to be brought back. And Coach Wollitz, he tries to be as calm as possible. And that's obviously a foul. Definitely not a penalty, though. And a foul right on the edge of the area. Would have been a diamond opportunity for Cottbus to try and get one back as the coach tries to energise his team from the sidelines. Cottbus have just really struggled to pin Duisburg down at the moment. This would make it 5 home wins in a row for the Zebras. You can see, and that's the mascot just on the bottom of the screen a moment ago. Also trying to G up the home fans as well. Mustafa charging across and getting the block. The Cops need a little bit more than that. Midway through the second half, down by 2-0. Tilo Tupka and Dominic Kotha doing the damage for the home side. And so far, at least, Duisburg making light of missing out on their main striker, Lex Tiger Lobinger, sitting out the game after picking up his 5th yellow card of the season last week. And Cottbus captain Axel Borgman and their main playmaker Tolkai Sigurdsson will both be missing next week for Energie Cottbus when they're at home to Verhen Wiesbaden after they both got booked within a couple of minutes of each other earlier in this second half. Both now on 5 bookings for the season. Borgman for a mistimed challenge on Racine Bulic. And Tolkai Sigurdsson for back-chatting the referee just once too often. Sjetinovic covering the run from Kotha. Sigurdsson dropping deep to pick up the ball off the goalkeeper once more. Sigurdsson trying to direct play around it. Borgman making a run into the left-hand channel, well covered. Cleared by Browner. Nice layoff from Engelhardt. Borgman. Mustafa over on that right-hand side. Mustafa cuts inside the shot, though, coming off the back of his own captain as he made a run into the area. Lucky to get the ball back here. Mustafa. And eventually goes over. The challenge from Bulic. And the referee waves play on again. Kruger goes past Sigurci. An opportunity here. Oh, brilliant covering back from Straudy. The offside flag, I think, going up anyway. And Christian Viet immediately pointing to the bench. Now, is that a bit of cramp? Or something a little bit worse? Sjetinovic goes across to help out. It's the one time in football that you see opposing players helping each other. There's a replay of the second goal. Lovely 1 and 2 touch passing, slicing through the Cottbus backline. Kurtha with his third goal in 4 games. And Duisburg have now pulled level on points and goal difference with Cottbus, and more changes from the Zebras bench. Viet coming off to be replaced by Connor Noss. Ten goals for the Irishman this season. And Kruger also withdrawn. Alias Kassar coming on for a little bit of extra oomph in the engine room here for Duisburg as they look to close out this win with 20 minutes yet to play. Well, the referee, by and large, trying to let the game flow, but not being given much of a chance by the players. And Tolga Sigurci now also joins his brother in the referee's notebook. He also needs to calm down, or we're getting a second yellow for dissent. It must have been for the earlier challenge. Younger brother also treading on eggshells there. Well, we've got players from both sides on the ground now. Ben Schlicker holding his left knee. Maybe just a touch of cramp. It has been quite an intense game. Arden Sjetinovic, the man down for Cottbus. And he's whoa. Well, he'll have to go off here. At least get the bleeding stopped before he's allowed back on the pitch. And claiming that there was a flying elbow. Arden Sjetinovic. Well, there was maybe a little something, so Straudy being replaced by Henry Rorik. Henry Rorik's had a few health problems in this second half of the season, and mostly playing off the bench the last couple of months. Having made that right back position very much his own earlier in the campaign. Sjetinovic back on the pitch, having been patched up. Now Engelhardt does well to hold the ball up. Engelhardt pulls the trigger, and that's not far over the bar. Well, they need to try something here, Cottbus. There will be a few extra minutes added on at the end of the 90. Hardly had a sighter throughout the entire game has Eric Engelhardt. 21 goals this season, 2 behind Lars Gindorf in the race for the Golden Boot. Goldish boot, probably. Segerci again, rather bypassed in midfield. Now Kurtha, his attempted cross charge down. Sjetinovic wins the goal kick from Dominic Kurtha, who went down expecting something a little bit different. And the referees had a pretty hard time with both sets of players, quite frankly, this afternoon. I don't think either team really covering themselves with glory with some of their conduct. Now Hanneman, here's a pass inside, intercepted. And then given away to Tolga Segerci. Wartby Grant coming forwards, providing a bit of drive from centre-back. And Wartby Grant continues his run as well. Mustafa jinks past a couple. Rather slips over as he tries to take the shot. Henry Rohrig now on the ball on this near side. And that charge down for a Cottbus corner. Tolga Segerci comes over to take it. And he'll be missing from next week's game at home to Wehen Wiesbaden, along with the captain of Cottbus. Well, that's for next week. Meanwhile, they've got a 2-goal deficit to try and cut back here. Corner goes in, headed away by Hahn. Mustafa arrives on the ball. Here's Borgman. Stands it back into the 6-yard box. Oh, and off the crossbar. And the second shot blocked, and it somehow kept it play by the goalkeeper. Mustafa still on the ball. Again it comes in. Oh, and it's been headed in. Is the goal going to stand? I think it is. What a sequence there. The ball headed out of the goalkeeper's hands. He didn't have it, I don't think, fully under control. Engelhardt had already had one shot come back off the crossbar. Ball eventually coming back in. There was the original shot from Engelhardt. Sjetinovic then with a shot clawed into play to save the corner by that Browner. The ball whipped back in. And Browner throwing himself to the ball theatrically. You're not going to get anything for that, son. Again, the theatrics from both sets of players. Unbecoming. And Sjetinovic has done nothing wrong there. If the goalkeeper has the ball to his chest, you can't take it. But he never had that ball fully under control. Now, is that going to be given as an own goal, or is it a goal for Mladen Sjetinovic? If it is, it'll be his first in Cottbus colours. In fact, a goal hasn't been given. Well. Oh, I beg your pardon there. The signal not clear from the referee. And I've got to say, Sjetinovic can feel himself rather hard done by. No foul there on the referee for my money. Threw himself to the floor, did Browner. Not for the first time in the game. Oh, 12 minutes left. Cottbus still 2 goals down. Noss wanted the throw. Segerci plays the ball out to Wartby Grant. I think they've really missed the drive from King Manu at the back there, out suspended after picking up his 5th yellow last week. His runs from the back have been sorely missed. Mustafa cutting inside, eventually I think getting a free kick. Just a bit of a tug from Jessen. Ball played in by Sergerci, easily headed away though. The set pieces haven't really caused Duisburg any problems whatsoever. Sergerci now pulls the trigger from long distance, charged down easily enough. Now Mitchell-Brink. Want to be Grant again. Ball driven into Sergerci, laid off to Borgman. Now Hannemann. Hannemann stands the ball into the area, and Engelhardt going down. Ignored by the referee. Hannemann looking for Borgman. He's given a little shove there by Turpken, which is a pity for Duisburg because that was a heavy touch from the Cottbus player. To be fair, that's shoulder to shoulder, surely. That was Engelhardt going down under the challenge from Hahn, also ignored by the referee. Rorig and Sergerci standing over it. Sergerci puts it into the near post. Well, Sjatinovic going for the flick on. Borgman almost caught in possession. There's Tolga Sergerci. And, well, no attempt to play the ball at all there from Hahn, who I think can be count himself rather lucky not to have picked up a yellow card there. Cottbus running out of time here. It would appear running out of ideas as well. They've been well, virtually completely bottled up by the Duisburg defence in this game. 82 minutes in. They have had the ball in the back of the net, cancelled out though. As Musfer again, good pace down that left-hand side, wins another corner for Cottbus. He certainly added a bit of extra dynamism over on that far side as Can Mustafa. Very much a substitute in this Cottbus side. Only had, I think, one start. Was hooked at half-time this campaign. Oh, another corner. Just the 5 red shirts to aim at. The referee. Just halting play for a moment. Fleckstein and a Walkby Grant having a bit of a clash at the back post. Sergerci with the corner. Picked up by Hannemann. Shot blocked. Here's Mitchell-Brink. Shifts it onto his left foot. Another shot blocked, and then Sergerci sees his effort cleared away from near the penalty spot. Now Mustafa. Sergerci on the far side, supposed to put it into this near side, but just a little bit too much on it. Sjatinovic would have to have been about 4 metres tall to get on the end of that one. Another change incoming for the home side. They just look to see out what would be a vital 3 points. Well, Patrick Susek also on the pitch for Duisburg already. Didn't see him come on. So that ball is lofted into the area. Borgman wins it back on the edge of the D. Tolga Sigurci to a Walkby Grant. Borgman tries to lay that off to Tolkai Sigurci. Trying to wriggle free the Turk. Now Rohrig on this near side. Drives the ball across. But there's contact on the edge of the area. And the foul will go Duisburg's way. Anderson Lukoki comes on, then that will push Axel Borgman up into midfield, which will bring not having his most effective game. Ken Koshkin about to take to the pitch as well. In place of Nicholas Jessen, like for like. Change there. Confirmation of the last of the Duisburg substitutions. Now Mustafa lays the ball off this time. Sigurci into Borgman. Borgman again. Borgman tries to get that one in towards Engelhardt. The shot, though, rather balloons up in the air on the volley. Henry Rohrig having to let that one bounce, deals with it well. That was the substitute. 3.5 minutes to go, and I think with that goal disallowed, just seems that it's not going to be Cottbus's day. And sometimes you just have to give credit to the opposition. You can say Cottbus have been poor. You can equally say Duisburg haven't given them the chance to play well. And the coverage in midfield has been brilliant. There's Kassar. Well, that's going to be a yellow card for Kassar. Well, second yellow card of the season for him since his winter arrival. Eventually crowded out by a combination of Sigurci. And that's a very cynical one, isn't it? The ball's not even in picture. Mustafa. It's been a rare ray of sunshine for Cottbus since coming on that left-hand side. And the only player who's really been able to show any ability to get past his man, make something happen. And Browner taking all the time that he wants on the ball there. A bit of a slip in midfield from Sigurci. Gurkan finding a ball into the area. Funk off his line. Lukoki into Borgman. Borgman looking for the run of Mustafa. Lukoki having to help his captain out there. Again, no way through this Duisburg midfield. Trying to spread the play there. The ball just a little bit high for Henry Rorig, who, to be fair, is, I suspect, the shortest man on the pitch. All right, back. Well, the ball allowed to bounce in behind. Waltby Grant coming across to cover. That leaves a gap in behind. The offside flag going up against Conor Noss anyway. Just didn't quite bring himself back into that onside position quickly enough. And 6 minutes to be added on here. At the end of the 90, Sigurdsson playing a 1-2, getting onto the edge of the area, plays the ball in for Engelhardt. What a goal that is from Eric Engelhardt. On the stroke of the 90, and he's breathed life into Cottbus here. And they've got 6 minutes to try and find an equaliser now. Just for once, Sigurdsson played a 1-2, got in behind his man, found a couple of yards of space. Early cross for Engelhardt. And he's planted that against the inside of the post. Oh, the keeper getting a hand on it as well. Fingertips onto the post. But now Duisburg up at the other end. Well, that takes Eric Engelhardt up to 22 goals, one behind Lars Gindorf at the top of the scoring charts in the Dritte Liga this season. And also a 13th assist for Tolkaiser Sigurdsson as well. A well-trodden combination for Cottbus this season. Or is there a late sting in the tail of this game? Perhaps not if Henry Rorig just shins the ball out to play like that. Slick, quick play there from Cottbus. Something they hadn't really managed throughout the previous 90 minutes. Engelhardt dropping deep, playing that ball out to Lukoki, who had to buck his ideas up there. Kassar playing that back to Browner, who immediately goes long over the back of Lukoki. Lukoki under pressure. Well, this is well played from Duisburg, winning the ball high up the pitch here. Here's Susek. Susek. Well, it's a bit early to be going for the corner flag, surely. Still another, 4 minutes to play. Susek eventually shoved off the ball, and there's a challenge into the back of Lukoki, who reacts to that from Susek. So tempers have definitely flared in this game. At times threatened to boil over. Sometimes a little bit unnecessary from the defending team, and there's also been a fair amount of reacting as well. Now coming forwards again, Sigurdsson cuts onto his right foot, goes to the top corner, always going wide. Tolkai Sigurdsson, not as good on his right foot as he is on his left. And they've got 3 minutes left now, Cottbus. They believe, do the players. Susek going past one, Rorig having to come across, put the ball out of play. More seconds come off the clock for Duisburg. And they will take their sweet time over this. Well, I think we should have a little bit added to those 6 minutes, actually. Goal scoring celebrations probably add a good half minute. Tupkin Oh, battling for the ball, can't believe the throw went Cottbus's way. Arguments again between the players. It's been, I say, it has been a bad-tempered affair, this one. Almost surprised both teams have ended up with 11 on the pitch, you know. Well, we've still got a minute and a half left to play. And there's another clash off the ball. The referee just trying to keep the game going. Rorig with a poor cross, doesn't get it past the first man. A complete miss kick from the right back. Now Hanneman. Hanneman tries to go across goal. Oh, and that's just the wrong side of the upright. The keeper was nowhere. No backlift from Moritz Hanneman. Certainly took the keeper by surprise and the defenders. But just the wrong side. Is that the final chance here for Energie Cottbus? As things stand, Osnabrück will be confirmed as Dritte Liga champions before taking to the pitch in what, just over an hour or so at Verhen Wiesbaden. Mustafa coming forward. And there's a late free kick here for Cottbus. They're going to throw everything up here. The yellow card. Well, who was that shown to? Well, it can't be Talias Kassar. He's already on a yellow. In fact, it's going to Tobias Fleckstein. So, a fifth yellow card of the season for Fleckstein. He'll be missing next week. Away to Erzgebirger Aue. Well, suspensions coming in fast and furious here. Both sides will be short-handed in the penultimate game of the season. Well, Henry Rorik to take this. I'm surprised the keeper isn't up for this, you know. The goal difference is very tight between the two. The ball floated in to the back post. Well, that's headed out for a corner. Surely that's a corner. The ball was floated long to the back post. It was clearly a corner. Can't get much clearer than that. Well, the referee not earning any friends, I think, on either side today. Both sets of players not happy with some of the decisions. But it's Duisburg who have won here to breathe life into their quest for back-to-back promotion. The 2-1 win here pulls them level on points with Energie Cottbus in second place in the table. It also confirms that Osnabrück will go up as champions. They'll take to the pitch as champions in just over an hour in Wiesbaden. Well, first half strike from Thilo Topken put Duisburg in the box seat. Then Dominik Koerther with a fine second goal just before the hour mark made it 2-0 for Duisburg. Eric Engelhardt got his 22nd goal of the season right on the stroke of the 90 to put a little bit of jeopardy into the final seconds of this game. But Duisburg eventually hold out. They pull level on points with Cottbus in second place, just behind them by 2 goals on goal difference. And it's all going to be going to the final 2 games of the season for that second promotion spot from the German Dritte Liga.